Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Man-O-Rama. Tonight, for a Halloween special, we're going to do Conspiracy Night. That's right, we're going to talk about all our fun favorite types of conspiracies, and you never know what's going to happen or what it is. I don't even know what these guys are going to talk about. They're all going to probably talk about tampons or whatever. I don't know. Whatever these guys, no, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Stay tuned. It's going to be a blast. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the 97th episode. I almost said 97th Halloween special. Like, Jesus, man, we're not here that long. I must be old. I'm Gandalf. How you doing? I'm your host, rancorsteve, and I'm with a bunch of great guys for the show. Tyler, how has your week been? Munching on your little whatever it is.
I'm eating crackers.
You cracker.
Hey, Steve. Hello, everybody.
Isn't that cannibalism? Cracker should never eat another.
Right?
That's racist. I had a good week, I guess. I was like super excited that I was going to buy this brewery restaurant. It was my dream for like a whole week. And then I went in to talk to the owners and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Too many red flags. That was pretty much it.
I see. Canadian Spider-Man, how's your day doing? I'm doing a little switcheroo.
Oh, busy as hell. Lots of roofing projects to finish up before the snow flies. Could be any day now. Lots of hunting. Just busy. Garden stuff, firewood. Not even a time for bonfire, Steve. It's a busy time of year. Carving up deer quarters.
It looks good. Rick, how's your week been?
Well, we're 7 days from Election Day, and I haven't taken a day off in 3 weeks, so I'm ready for this shit to be over.
Oh, man. Well, you know, they said that they're not going to be finished counting until like 3 weeks after the election, so it might be another 3 weeks for you, buddy.
Yeah, well, either way, I'm just ready for the main part to be over. But yeah, no, I'm doing well.
All right, that's good.
Been busy, writing for Twitchy, doing my daily, all that fun stuff.
Nice. Ordy, how's your week been?
You know what? My week's been pretty damn good. It's weather's definitely getting cooler. The leaves have completely changed. We're supposed to have some snow at the higher elevations later this week. Traffic and weather on the threes on MOR.com. So it's it works kind of slowing down a little bit where I don't work 12-hour days, and I'm excited about all that.
Nice.
Yeah, now he only works 11 and a half.
Yeah, 11 and a half.
You lazy person. No, I was kidding. Vincent.
I'm doing great. Already stole my answer, but yeah.
Raison d'etre accomplished. Oh, wait, sorry.
No. Tick it off on the score. 1-0. My week's been okay. Just hanging around, drinking, doing the Vin things. Same old.
Nice. My week's been it's been okay. It's a lot of work. I demoed a bathroom last week and yesterday, so that was fun. Just demoing is a lot of fun.
Swinging sledgehammer.
Prepping.
I love it.
Dude. I spent 6 hours using the sledgehammer and a chisel. I couldn't hold anything for like 2 days after.
Dude,
so Saturday and Sunday, I was like, my hands are
construction work when I was still in high school in 9th grade in the summers. That's why I was able to have a car in 10th grade. So yeah.
Well, I've been saving up for a truck for almost a year now, and I found a Tundra, and I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna get it.
Nice.
So hopefully in a couple weeks, I will be having a Tundra. And then all my friends were like, can you help me move some stuff? Can you help me do this? I'm like, dang it. That's the only problem about getting a truck is every one of your little numbnuts friends are going to be all like, can you help me move this? Like, why can't you just move it yourself? Having a pumpkin spice latte I'm like you.
How many cylinders, Steve?
Ooh, I have to
For
look at it.
Tundra?
Yeah,
6 probably.
Yeah, I think it's a
I
straight
was gonna
6.
say,
Yeah, it is. Because it's
straight
a
six
V8,
good engine.
but it's a 2010 Tundra, and it's for 26,000. I'm like,
Ooh, those were the
jackpot.
good years too.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: the towing capacity. How much do you think that the weight is? I looked this up, and I didn't believe it for a second.
1 million pounds.
Okay, there.
I'd say 12,000 curb weight.
All right.
2 Lizzos.
That's
No.
what you just stole my answer.
It would be 4 Lizzos now. She's lost weight, remember?
Yes.
She
Oh.
looks good. She looks good.
Yeah. Enough.
It's about almost 11,000 pounds.
Holy
Damn.
shit. That's my
Two
RV.
Lizzos.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good Lizzo.
Nice desk, Steve. That's awesome.
Nice desk.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. You've got
Now you see the magic.
Oh,
in
the desk
Dora-
on here.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, yes. What Canadian
num
term are
shiva,
you
num
saying
shiva,
now? I
num
need
shiva.
translation here. Google. What does nice desk mean in Canada?
You betrayed Shiva.
Hey, puppy. Puppy.
Oh man. Oh,
Ooh.
I'm so
I
glad
have
it's
something for
Tuesday.
the pup.
That's the thing. The thing I love most is I
Oh,
love
yeah.
Tuesdays. Oh man.
Big bone right there for the dog.
Hell yeah. You would love that.
Giggity.
Mm.
Menace. Sorry, Steve.
I'm
I
going to
won't
have
distract.
sexual
I'll just
thoughts about
start.
that.
I know, right?
I think we all are. Yeah.
Where'd you go? But before we do, so tonight we're going to be talking about conspiracy nights because it's almost Halloween and conspiracies are fun. And one of the things that I've learned over the course of 4 years is men have different conversations with guys. Like conversations, like if I was with Tyler and we were just kicking back, having a few beers, we'll talk either about the Bible or conspiracies or politics. And some people have different things. Like some people like to talk about cars, movies, whatever the situation is, because it's a bonding moment. Conspiracies, on the other hand, is probably the greatest thing I've ever encountered because they're all the most batshit things, but they all make sense right now. It shouldn't be conspiracy theories. It should be considered conspiracy fact because
No, spoiler warnings.
spoiler warning. Yeah, that is true. Because the things that we've seen, man, they make more sense now than they like what we read in the books, newspaper, whatever it is. Because it just makes more sense, you know. But before we get to that, I want to get to one of our favorite topics.
Twitter.
La, la, la.
Birds.
Tweet, motherfucker. Yeah, so it's gonna be "Don't Be That Guy," and I found a few little things that we can pull in, some hilarious things, and let's get started. Now, I did show you guys these. These are a little late, but whatever. I don't care. I was busy. But here it is. This guy said food $200, data $150. I think he means cell phone. Rent $800. I don't know where he's renting, but I want $800.
Oh, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Jeez, a bit much.
Yes.
No.
No, I'll
No.
take 800.
Maybe
I
in
pay.
Canada.
Maybe, yeah. Where? How much do you pay rent, Canadian Spider?
I live in a trailer. It's a couple hundred.
Oh,
You
I'm
son of a
jealous.
bitch.
There,
Shit, I paid $800 a month in the 90s for a studio in San Diego.
I pay almost
Windows
1,800 a month.
I lose water
That's,
once a year.
and then he also says donating to VTubers $3,600. Does anybody know what VTubers is? I don't know what that is.
Video
Like a porn
Vloggers.
thing?
Yeah, so
That's-
No, it was the old name for YouTubers, video
yeah.
tubers.
Oh, okay. Utilities, $150. Man, where the fuck does this guy live?
Well,
Well,
you
it's
gotta look at-
2013.
yeah, I was going to
Yeah, so we
say
were
that
like-
was 11
okay.
years ago.
2013.
There's, and then he said, someone who is good at the economy, please help me budget this. My family is dying. This guy, Craig, goes at drill, spend less on video tubers, like probably YouTubers. Guys, what is the problem with this?
Well, the problem is you didn't get that it was a joke.
Yeah, Drill is one of the oldest trolls on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Okay, I got trolled into that one.
He's the one who came up with the corn cob. I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not
seriously?
owned.
Okay,
I'm not owned as I slowly shrink into a corn cob.
So here, guys, audience, don't be that guy. Don't be me. I fell for this one. Mostly because VTubers. I was
when
like,
I saw
the
that,
only reason why.
when I saw that
She's
before, I'm
got
like,
no beard,
what's with Drill? Why are we doing Drill?
So here's the thing. The only reason why I
No
picked it
alcohol.
was because
Drugs.
VTubers. I didn't know what that meant, and I was like, "Is that like a porn site or something like that?" He paid $3,600, so that's what got me. I've never heard of this guy before.
So yeah,
So
on,
there
on
you go.
tonight's Man-O-Rama, the first "Don't Be That Guy" is the host.
Hey, how you doing?
So,
It
are you
happens.
familiar? Okay, Steve, are you familiar with Dennis on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you get owned, you owe him $8. Drill is the original
Yes.
Dennis.
Oh,
Before Dennis was Dennis. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you, Dennis.
Fucking Dennis.
here's the other thing. If you feel like an ass, like I do right now, own up to it. It's okay. Everyone is an ass.
Yeah, you know what?
Like, take Canadian Spider-Man,
Dennis,
for instance.
Dennis has got me a couple times where I
Oh,
just
I'm
like,
an ass.
fucking Dennis.
I know. But see, I feel like an ass right now. I'm owning up to it. Take Canadian Spider-Man, for instance. He doesn't know the difference between a tranny and a woman. It's okay,
Why not?
Canadian Spider-Man.
I don't have a lot
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
experience.
He's like, how did I get involved in this shit?
Man, I had so much trouble in Bangkok. Holy fuck.
Anyways, so we're gonna go to Pokimane, because why not? She's
still doing the BLM hashtag, huh? Okay.
no, this is an old one.
Okay.
So it says, just want to be happy. That's a fine tweet. I don't have a problem with that. That's a normal one. It's what this schmuck said, Warrior. Probably lives in his mom's basement in Wisconsin. He said, "Hi, Pokey Heart. I just wanted to say I really love you and I want to go on a date." I can't do this with a straight face. It's so fucking weird. Date with you. I'm the one who drops $20 on your stream every day. You can DM me if you want. A blush face. I have
Over 7,000.
Last 130 on my PayPal card.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it where the people can see. All right. I have the last $130 on my PayPal that I'm going to drop next stream just so we can meet. What the fuck does that
I
even
love
mean?
you so much.
Yeah,
I swear I'm older than all you guys because you know those words better than I do. Anyways, I want to date you. I want to date really bad. Jesus, man, this guys, what is the problem with this?
She needs our help.
Well, the problem with this is now I have a Stevie Wonder song in my head, so that's my first problem. Now I'm over here saying, "I just tweeted to say I love you." Okay, I'm done.
Oh,
See, my problem with this is that he obviously didn't read Drill's tweet.
My problem with this is
This
that
dude's
he's work-
dropping $600 a month on fucking Pokimane.
and
Yeah.
my problem with all of this is that Steve's wearing a cardigan and he doesn't have Werther's in his pocket.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, you don't know
Maybe
what
I
the-
do. Maybe I
That's
do,
not a
and
real
they're
man.
for me.
Why don't
Maybe
guys?
that's Werther's in his coffee. Have you thought of that?
Mm.
Dude, have you ever put Werther's in your coffee? Good shit.
Ooh.
It's fucking good.
I've done it once.
Just saying. Good shit.
Did you say Werther's in your coffee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes.
It's
Yeah, it's
pretty
a
good.
good
We just changed. We just changed Spider-Man's life here.
Maybe.
Werther's and I'm gonna
It's
put
really
some
good.
brandy in there too because I have both.
Yeah. No, I need to get some Werther's because I got brandy in my tea right now. Werther's would be fucking kick ass in that. Some butterscotch in my Irish breakfast coffee
Love
tea with
Mm.
some brandy. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. No, this guy doesn't understand, and I want to make a point of this because seems to be these days a lot of men that don't understand this. Women will not respect you; they will not take you seriously if you come off pathetic like this. Laying your heart, never show your emotions to women. First of all, or to a woman that you're interested in, because she'll just wipe her feet on you, and don't be like this. Don't be pathetic. Women don't respond to this. They want the macho guy. They don't want someone who's this is just wrong every way. Too many guys.
They
act
respond
like
to
this.
they respond to apathy and indifference. That's what they
Yes,
react
they
Yeah.
really
Now-
took me 35 years to learn that, but yes, correct.
It takes us.
Warrior
Canadian
is going to
Spider-Man.
marry the first chick that he lays, and she's going to
Mhm.
treat him like shit.
Mhm.
Because it's hard to respect somebody who kisses your ass.
And take all
Now
the shit.
the best,
Absolutely,
the best,
sir.
the
Absolutely.
the best response that Warrior could do is now. Hold up.
Yeah, Zelda
Hold
says.
up,
In all
hold
seriousness, I
up,
would never
hold
go for a
up,
guy
hold
this
up.
thirsty.
He just
Exactly
put a
so.
mask over this guy. Oh god, he photoshopped a mask.
I hate him
Super
so much
warrior
more now.
man.
But here's the thing.
Somebody check Twitter, see if he still has any. No, I'll do it. What is it? Super Warrior Man?
You know,
Guy's account is
you
still
gotta
active.
go.
But
Firing up
so this is what he could have said. I'm glad you're having it. I'm glad you're happy. Or something very simple. Here's the thing, guys, in the audience. If you have something to say in your mind,
Holy shit, he actually changed his @ and he's a sports ball account now.
oh, he probably got his balls busted.
Oh,
Don't
absolutely.
some of the
Most
things you
recent tweets-
think of.
Yeah.
Some of the things you think of when you find a woman online attractive, sometimes it's a dude. But you don't have to you don't have to spill your emotional stuff out. Don't do that.
You have way
You know
better luck insulting them and calling them a bitch or something.
Literally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
See,
literally.
here's how I would have handled that differently. Rather than saying I spend $30 a month or $30 a day on your feet, I'd say, hey, I got $600. How about a blowjob in the parking lot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
And see, that's the
I
thing.
mean-
Only one person in this entire interaction should be carrying a purse, and it should be her, because this guy just emptied out his purse online.
Yeah.
And
Anyways, we'll go to the next one.
yeah,
Let me
Oh, I'd like
Zoom
to
out
roast
a
that
little
guy
bit.
more, though.
All right, guys. Here's this big old honk of a lady.
Oh.
Thanks to Tyler who has
hell is
introduced
that?
me to my lady, White Knight Validator.
while we were out partying, he was studying the blade.
Guys, what is the problem with
Yeah,
this?
he was studying a blade, but it's not the one you're thinking of.
His fitness.
I don't see a problem at all. That guy's awesome.
Shut up.
His hair.
Wait, what?
I know. You know how I know you're a bullshitter? You think he's awesome. Now,
He's
here's
so
the thing. I will say this. Okay. I don't have an issue with the hat. I like his sword. It's kind of cool looking. The shirt, I'm okay with. The jacket, it's the whole fact that he's a white knight, like pro white knight. It's if he went to the gym, I guarantee you he would be like his testosterone would go up, everything.
Mm.
There is hope for this guy. I know that for sure.
Yeah, he's got the
Oh.
height, I think. He just needs to.
Yeah.
But saying
He
fucking
needs
milady,
to
what
lose
are we?
that fucking overcoat. That shit went out with the third Matrix movie.
So just to
Yeah.
clarify, Steve likes his sword. Giggity giggity.
I do like it. But no, white
Except-
knighting never gets you the girl.
No, it doesn't.
Sword.
We've all done it probably in our stupidity as children
No,
when we
I
didn't know any
never-
better.
I never did that.
No, you did that. You just don't want to admit it. There are two
Exactly.
kinds of
See,
people.
I've
shut
done
up.
it,
Steve,
Fred.
look.
There are two kinds
I-
of people. There are those who have done it and those who fucking lie about it. All right? It's the same people
That's
who
true.
say they don't masturbate.
Anyways, we'll
You're
go to the
about
next
to go
one.
deep on the air, Vincent.
We're about to get to this. All right, here's this one. I'm gonna
Shit.
zoom out a
Oh, I
little bit.
forgot about this one. My God.
Oh my god,
All right.
that was a segue into that one, wasn't it?
I know, right?
Right.
Alpha male reveals why he's dating a trans woman. All right, guys, what is the problem with this one?
The alpha male is just revealed that he's gay.
Wait, hold up.
Nothing.
Oh, damn it. I should have
why
done
you
this as
say
a
that's
trick on
fine.
Canadian Spider-Man.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah, you should have.
Oh, she does look like a woman. See, I would have thought she was a woman.
She can
Really?
pass.
Well,
Until
she can
she starts-
pass. She can pass because
No.
her fingers are covering where her Adam's apple would be in the picture.
Until
Well,
she starts
that-
walking
Ah.
and talking. See?
Dude's
Until
in
she's-
closeted and he found a way to stay in there.
Yeah.
Unless she starts talking, she does look like a woman. I'm not gonna lie, but until
Tim, I also work
he
on
starts
BMW.
talking and walking, then you know.
At least he puts in effort. He's not one of these trans people that has like a full beard and shit. I can't stand them motherfuckers.
That's true.
So
Some money
So
went
the-
into that. Some definite
the
money
only
went into that.
sorry, Vincent.
Oh, no,
The only silver lining is that I guess dating a trans person, you don't have to deal with all the.
Pregnancy
Well,
stuff.
I don't know. Are they on estrogen? Do you still have to deal with the bullshit?
They'll make it up.
Canadian Spider-Man is now weighing the pros and cons of dating a trans woman.
Obviously, spending time with dudes is a lot less stressful than spending time with women. It's easier on your freaking head.
Do you need to admit something here?
You can have a logical discussion with the trans if they're.
Just remember, it's not gay if you leave your socks on.
That's right.
Anyways, I thought this was funny because an alpha man, no.
No one
It's
wants
just-
to be an alpha man
That
anyway.
and he's
Walked
that,
over.
what's going on with that fucking beard thing?
Right?
That's
Oh,
not
the
that's not
stupid-
alpha.
You
He's
know,
He
Amish.
thinks he's Amish.
I was gonna say he looks
ain't
like
Amish.
he looks like he went on Rumspringa and never came back.
All right, so we'll go to the next one. We'll get through these pretty quick.
Oh,
Here, let me zoom out a little bit.
Y'all get the joke on that, right?
Yes. I just like it. We'll move to the next one. The next
Hang on.
few are
No, I got to explain the joke.
No, I'm
So,
Canadian. I
Tim
don't get it.
Okay, Tim Walz did this photo op of him and AOC playing Madden football, and the controller wasn't turned on.
AOC?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
she's a
She's
very
A commie with
very
a nice
very
kid from the Bronx.
she's a communist former bartender who's now an elected representative.
Yep. That sums it
But
up.
anyway, they were doing this Madden thing, riffing on Trump's rally the other night, and oh hey, look at me, I'm totally normal playing Xbox, except your controller wasn't turned on, jackwagon.
So were they ever able to confirm that? Because every angle I saw, it was hard to tell. So they were able to confirm his
Yeah, they
controller
did.
was on.
Yeah, they
That-
did.
There's a shot that
Because
zoomed
big
in.
red- the big green X should have been very prominent.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How much time do you guys spend on social media to find all this shit out?
See,
I
the
just
thing is,
searched.
you don't have to. If you know anything about life in general, you'll know that these people do it fucking wrong,
Yeah.
and you will find
Anyways.
mistakes.
We'll go to the
You
next
don't have
one.
to spend that much
Social
time on
media
there
is
to
all
catch up.
Paid,
Read
so I have
Gucci.
to compare pretty much. So.
All right, so this guy, Bill Madden, this is hilarious. This is where you understand that paid liberals don't know anything. He goes, holy shit, look at this fucking crowd in Charlotte. For Carolina, Kamala Harris is going to win North Carolina and become the first woman president in the United States history. All right, so does anybody know the problem with this image?
Yeah, what's between her legs should not matter.
No, it's
President.
no, it's
or
what
not.
this is. It's not about what is in between her legs or anything. It is what the image he posted. Does anybody know what that is?
Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah.
I can't see it very well.
Yeah, it's hard to
not very good
tell.
definition.
It is a little bit, but there was a hurricane in North Carolina. It is the country music festival that they put up to raise money for the hurricane. Kamala Harris was not there. So they used that footage to say this is the crowd for one of the fucking Kamala Harris's crowd rallies.
People will believe it.
And then
Yeah, they lie about this
here's
all the
this
time.
thing. Hold up. It gets funnier. They got community noted.
Well, what makes this even funnier isn't even the community note. It's that, him saying she's going to win North Carolina. As somebody who does this kind of stuff for a living, she just pulled all of her resources out of North Carolina and she's shifting them to Virginia.
She's trying to get a foothold in Virginia.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
giving up
Bill
on
Gates
North
gave
Carolina.
And
$50 million.
stabilizing Michigan, which is not looking good either.
All right, so I think this is the last one. It is, yes. All right. Kamala Harris said, breaking registrations for white dudes for Kamala have now surpassed 75,000. Impressive, but okay. The energy surrounding this campaign is unheard of. Then Donald Trump Jr. said they should give it more fitting name, like Cucks for Kamala.
I love it.
Oh, man. Leave it to Don Jr. to do all that stuff. Well, anyways, tonight, that was Don't Be That Guy. That was fun. I like that. Tonight, we're going to do... What?
That was good.
That was Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. So tonight, we're going to talk about conspiracies. Because we all have them. It's normal. It allows us to question reality. Does anybody would like to go first with one of their conspiracies?
You're going to have to assign somebody, Steve.
Fine.
Yeah.
Nobody volunteered.
All right,
How
Ordy.
offensive can we be?
Okay. How many of these are doing tonight?
We'll start with one and we'll just see how it goes.
Well,
we
I've
can
only
all
got
jump in.
one, so that's good, and then I'll just listen to everybody else's because I love it. But I've got one that I guarantee you Ordy has never heard. So,
and I've got one I guarantee you've never heard.
I've got one that you've all probably heard. Whatever.
So that's the one I'm actually going to drop. See, for those of you who don't know, Rick and I both do a conspiratainment show every other Saturday. We just wrapped up Vamptober. It was fantastic. We did a whole month on vampires. One of the things that actually, my favorite go-to conspiracy is the Mandela effect, followed by Matrix / dead internet theory. But the one that actually blew my mind, the one that even to this day I ponder, is the phantom time theory. And the one with that one, Rick remembers when we did the show on this one too. It's it's a relatively new one too. It started in the 90s, and the basis of the theory is that when they switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendars, that 300 years is missing, because when they did, it was under the Gregorian calendar, the year was 365 and a quarter days. It's actually 11 minutes shorter than that. And when they did all the calculations, it should have come out that they would have had to have adjusted the calendar. When they did it, they should have had to have adjusted the calendar for 13 days. But the mathematicians at the time figured, and the astronomers at the time figured, we only have to do it 10 days. That would imply that 300 years is missing. And in this theory, it posits that the time between around 600 AD to 900 AD, archaeologically, there isn't a lot going on in that time compared to all the time before and all the time after. It's kind of like this dead spot in archaeology. And that Romanesque construction through Europe was still prevalent around 1000 AD, which shouldn't have been the case. And that it was a theory, that it was a conspiracy between, I want to make sure I get this right. Please hold.
Was it the reverse vampires?
No, yeah, reverse vampires. No, but it was
They suck you from the bottom?
reason behind it was that Pope Sylvester II, the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, and the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII got together so that way Pope Sylvester II would be the Pope during the 1000th year AD. And this implies that Charlemagne never existed. And yeah, so apparently we're actually in the year 1727.
Dun dun dun.
And does that affect us somehow?
Well, it affects Canadians.
Not really, but just that, history's mostly a lie.
I mean, history is always much.
So when Jesus was supposed to return in 2,000 years, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, if we're following that chronologically, we still have about 300 years to go.
Right?
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Well, there goes your theory there, Tyler.
He stole my
That's
answer.
weird. He stole my answer. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, have you guys ever heard of I've seen a video. Well, I'll get to that one when I do mine. Okay, I have two then. My cousin Vinny or Vincent. What
Yes?
is your theory?
Well, I have
William's the
rather-
Utes. Oh wait.
Oh, excuse me. You remember about 10 years ago, there was this young Middle Eastern woman named Malala Yousafzai, and she was the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And she's like, really into educational causes, getting Muslim women the right to go to school and the right to vote and all that other good stuff. So she's, generally a good egg. But somebody came up with the theory that, and it originates, I'm reading this now, from a 2013 satirical piece in the magazine called Dawn. And these theories variously allege that she is a Western spy, or that her attempted murder by the Taliban in 2012 was a secret operation to further discredit the Taliban and was organized by her father and the CIA, and get this, carried out by the actor Robert De Niro, disguised as an Uzbek homeopath.
I've heard of that theory.
No, you haven't.
Yes.
No,
I
way.
watched the
not.
video where someone was talking about that. When you mentioned Robert De Niro, that just, yes, I have seen. Yeah, I didn't go much into it because I thought it was just some kind of like a movie
No,
idea.
It just sounds like something he'd do because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've heard of
Yes,
that.
it is.
I don't know much about it, but I've heard that theory before, and I was like, that sounds stupid.
But yeah, that's all I got. So you guys go
All right.
nuts.
Hey, Tyler, what is your conspiracy theory?
Well, I was going to talk about how we are in the end of days, according to Bible prophecy, but apparently we still have 300 more years.
Well, that just cocked up his little shtick. You got anything else?
Yeah. Think. I think honestly, Alex Jones was right about a lot, except for Sandy Hook, and that's like, ugh, that's a bad one to be wrong about. Otherwise, like he was pretty spot on, even with like the frogs being gay. But most notably, that there's a shadow puppet government that's really in control of everything. I mean, George Carlin was talking about that back in the 80s or 90s, and yeah, just the
George Carlin was a prophet,
and you're not in
Man.
it. So I think I'm going to take it further. The reason that they hate Donald Trump so much is because he was actually a president. He wasn't just being told what to do, and he was actually making decisions as a president should. Versus, not just the Democrats. I mean, both of the Bushes, they're all in the same fucking group together. They were being told what to do by the big bankers and the globalists, and the president doesn't really run shit. There's a behind the scenes people, the shadow government, whatever you want to call them, that's actually in control. And honestly, you can't convince me otherwise. Like that is my reality. That those are the people that are really running the world. And then you look at the money, just honestly, BlackRock, Vanguard, all them, they're the primary shareholders that manage trillions of dollars worth of assets. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'll stop there, but it goes pretty fucking deep.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious one. Like with Trump kind of opening the door to that. Canadian Spider-Man, do you have a conspiracy theory?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I do. Let's talk about fluoride in the water because that came out in the news recently. There was a judge in, was it Texas? It might be Texas that recently, agreed and ruled that fluoride in the water is a neurotoxin. And there has been a lot of, I did research on this just today. There's a lot of videos from reputable scientific minds. I'm sure probably even Neil deGrasse Tyson, that caliber, that are saying, no, there's nothing wrong. Fluoride strengthens your bones and it allows your teeth to have more dense enamel and it doesn't poison you at all. However, there was a judge just today that came, and since the 50s, people have been saying, no, they're poisoning us by putting fluoride in the water. Wasn't it, there was Stanley Kubrick did a famous movie that I can't remember the name of that touched upon that, actually.
Oh,
and so, yeah. It's not, is it Dr. Strangelove? Is that a Stanley Kubrick movie? Anyway, so that's the whole idea, is that and I believe he was saying that the Chinese communists were convincing the government to put fluoride into our water to make us all dumber. And looking around society today,
apparently it's working.
Yeah,
it's working. But yeah,
they're making the frogs gay.
Causes a decline of IQ, and the judge ruled today or this week that that's true, that it's a neurotoxin. So we'll see how that goes. Conspiracy or fact?
Ooh.
Now it could be both. Now my philosophy is it could be both. It could strengthen your teeth and your bones, and they didn't realize that there was an after effect, i.e., lowers children's IQ. Both.
They make you dumb.
I'm gonna say embrace the power of and because they probably didn't know. But yeah, Ordy and I have a theory we throw around on juxtaposition all the time. The time span between conspiracy theory and conspirafact is about 6 months now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. So, do you have any conspiracy theory there, Rick?
I actually have a couple. Ordy reminded me of a shorter one. First of all, I want to say R.I.P. to Terry Garr. She passed away today. But this triggered a Mandela effect for me because, and this was so for those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is. Basically, CERN back in, I think it was late 80s, fired up their Hadron Collider for the first time. And since then, they say that there have been minute changes to the timeline happening over and over and over again. And there are artifacts. Some of these artifacts can include like movies that people have sworn that they've seen that nobody else knows about. Or the one where it's Berenstein versus Berenstain. And or Jiffy versus Jif peanut butter. Well, I experienced one today. I couldn't really talk about it because I was on the air at the time. One of the other guys I work with at the network said the same thing. He's like, I could have sworn she passed away several years ago from breast cancer. I'm like,
you guys were talking about that, yeah.
Kind of what I thought too.
She barely had boobs.
That doesn't matter.
Are you kidding?
No, she had. She had boobs.
Fantastic knockers.
I think
they were even referred to in Young Frankenstein.
I think we're talking about different people
and shown rather promptly or prominently.
Voluptuous.
Yes.
Yes, they were spectacular. Oh, and Jeff dropped that into the YouTube chat too. That Terry Garr's death is a Mandela effect.
I thought she actually did pass away a few years ago.
I thought she had too.
Yeah, because it was and stuff. Yeah, that was because when I was with Gary, we were helping someone move, and then he told me, and then I didn't say anything, but in my head I was like, she already passed away like 10 years ago, right? Like,
See, that's what I thought. I was pretty
yeah,
sure.
I was like, what?
So
But,
while we're talking about the Mandela effect too, if you want to see something creepy, go on YouTube and look at the video "CERN We Are Happy," and it's just basically the song "Happy," but it's a bunch of the American physicists there just being physicist dorks. But all the hidden signs in that they've successfully pulled off a timeline slip are in there, specifically referencing Nelson Mandela.
okay.
The government can't even deliver the mail on time. You're giving them far too much credit.
Oh no, I'm giving insane scientists credit, not the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference.
So I'll give one of my conspiracies, and then we'll get to Rick's other one. Here, I was going to do the calendar, and then Vincent kind of ruined that one for me. So, way to go, Romans. My conspiracy.
How did Vincent ruin when I put fucking Romans in the chat like 5 hours ago?
Because I was busy, I didn't see that one. That's why. Sorry, I didn't see it. I was busy prepping this episode that I couldn't really see all the chats. I saw the notification go up. I was like, wow, okay.
Multitasking like an old man. I understand.
I know, right? Jeez, I had my cardigan, my glasses on. Hello, everybody. Mine is the Malaysia Flight 370. That conspiracy. Now, I didn't know about this. I watched a video of it, and I was trying to find it. I couldn't. But from what I gathered, all the information from the video, and I looked it up, and it's all legit, is there were 4 people that were working, 4 scientists that were actually working on something pretty big in the like from the span of 100 years. I would say this is probably one of the biggest achievements and in science, and they had a patent to go through. Well, this took a while for the patent, and 3 scientists went on a flight, the Malaysia 370. And we all know it. It disappeared. We didn't know where it was. Well, supposedly that plane is actually in a hangar. They killed everyone on the flight. And when they finally announced that, oh yeah, we found it in the ocean, blah, 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 blah. And it took like, what, a week or something like that. It took a while for them to find the flight. So 3 days after they announced, yeah, we found the flight and everything, 3 days later, the patent went through. The owner, now there was 4. 1 did not go on this flight. The owner of the patent now is the owner of Pfizer. And that patent was a machine that shot like a mist of any chemical they wanted to, and it would go into your skin.
Hypospray.
Yeah, something similar.
Hypospray.
Yeah, this is what Pfizer owns now. The owner, the president or CEO of Pfizer owns that. And I thought that was the most fascinating thing because I was bizarre. I was like, how could you lose a plane? Like a plane with a lot of people in it. Like, how could you do that? And when I watched this video, I actually did research. I was like, all right, this sounds way too cool. I have to look into this. And sure enough, it's all the data and everything is up there. And I was like, holy crap. And no one knows about it. Like, I talked to some people and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I looked crazy at this point. Like, I was crazy, like Alex Jones talking about the water's making the frogs gay, which turns out actually true because Kennedy actually just said, he goes, yeah, this is the data. I was like, oh, shit. Yep. My other theory is the Titanic theory. Ooh. That actually it's not the Titanic, and I've actually seen
my second one.
Oh,
so
Olympia? There is a theory. Olympus? Yeah, Olympus, right, guys?
Olympia.
Yeah,
Olympia. I've actually seen a photo, and I've been trying to find it again. I saw it on Telegram. They actually have a photo, and here's the thing: I know how things are photoshopped. I zoomed in. I did my whole research. I put it in After Effects and everything, and Photoshop. It is not photoshopped at all. The actual Titanic ship is in a warehouse, docked somewhere, It didn't say specifically where, but there were 3 bankers, investment bankers, that went on this ship. And they had a deal where they could do central banking. They turned it down. They sunk the ship to sink these 3 guys because they were key players into the whole central banking. That is why they sunk the Titanic.
Yeah, those 3 people dying is what led to them being able to create the Federal Reserve because they blocked it.
Yep. Isn't that
Also,
weird?
because the Olympia was damaged when ramming another ship when
Yes.
it launched.
Correct.
So they renamed it the Titanic so they could get the insurance money on that and then build another one.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
That's the one I've heard.
Once the time machine gets working, we got a lot of shit to fix, brother.
I mean, I've seen Back to the Future. I'm not going to touch shit.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
So, Rick, what is?
Did you learn nothing from The Simpsons? I wish I hadn't squished that fish.
Dude, I'm taking lottery numbers and I'm going back.
I know, right?
So-
I want Biff Sports Almanac and go back. I'm just saying. All right. Now, as far as well, first, before we go too far, I want to back up for a second because BlackRock and Vanguard got brought up. Interesting things about BlackRock and Vanguard. If you trace them, they have fingers in pretty much everything that keeps this country running, from anything from our fuel supply, our food supplies, and everything in between. But if you trace them back even further, you're going to find that there's a bunch of shell companies and holding companies and everything else. But if you keep tracing, eventually you find one holding company that actually has controlling interest in both.
In both Vanguard and BlackRock?
Yep.
And who's that?
I haven't been able to trace down their name. I can only find limited information about them, but everything goes back to one holding company.
Rockefellers.
I was going to say, do you have a feeling that I've long suspected that we have no idea who the actual richest people in the world are?
Oh yeah, no, the ones that are LARPing to be the richest people in the world, they're not them. They're
not them.
They're useful cover. They distract.
You know how I know this? Because most people that are millionaires, you're never gonna know. So I can imagine what it's like as you get even more money. That's like my ex-wife had an uncle who died, and when he died, he had $5 million in the bank. Nobody knew. Dude lived in a trailer.
Dude, it is the same thing with me. When I was a kid, there was this guy who lived on our street, and a little old Italian guy. I mean, his clothes were like sold. You could basically see through them. And he just shuffled around the neighborhood every day, and he died. And as it turns out, he had like fucking $35 million of stock in AT&T. And this guy was certainly could afford to live in a better neighborhood than I did when I was growing up. Jesus.
Jeez. Did he know that he had stocks?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
Apple.
Well,
Maybe
I'm going to open this up to the chat on Rumble and on
The
YouTube.
tubes of you.
Yes. If you guys have a conspiracy that you want us to talk about, let us know. And then we'll talk about it. Because here's the open conversation with guys. Like with us, we can spend hours talking about these conspiracies till the day is blue. I don't know. But the calendar theory that I had that I guess now Rick wants to chime in to, ruining it for me. But Vincent told me.
Romans.
I know, right? So the calendar, there's technically supposed to be 13 months, all in 28 days.
If we had a lunar cycle calendar until the Romans fucked it up.
Yeah, it's actually the pagan calendar.
So
We like pagans.
it's the first day of the month is always a Monday, and the last day of the month is always a Sunday. And April Fools is what fooled us into believing this is what our calendar is now, the historically accurate one, when really it's not. Because it makes total sense why April 1st should be the first day of the year, because of spring. That's how you have to follow that whole timeline. Spring is giving birth. It's like new life. Winter is just death. Cold, miserable, dark. See? That makes sense. And then I believed it for like 2 years. I looked like a fucking nut job for this one because everyone's like, whatever. I felt like Alex Jones for a second there, but with
You
less
don't actually
money.
look like a nut job. You just pretty
But
much.
then I like slowly started convincing people, and then Vincent and I guess now Rick all were like, no, it's actually the Romans. Oh, well,
Just shattered the whole world.
I know, right? I was on that for 2 years. I was like, yes, this is true.
Wait, you've been working on this for 2 years, and Rick and I just destroyed this just today.
Oh
because it
man,
makes sense.
Awesome.
I've been working on the
You
story
said
for the
Romans?
last 2 years. He just tweeted it.
When you said the Romans, I was like, oh damn.
oh dude, Steve is so devastated. He's trying as hard as he can to
was
keep
the
it.
one
See, and that's the
conspiracy
thing.
that
I
was
didn't
right
even
about
say
it.
anything, and to try and destroy it. I just said, the Romans had 10 months. Or there was a 10-month calendar until the Romans got a hold of it, and then they added Julius Caesar added a month in honor of himself, and his son Augustus added a month to honor himself. Because we're in October right now, we should be in the 8th month of the year.
Yeah.
October, November, 9th month, December, 10th month. 10 months in the year. But July and August fucked everything up.
Motherfuckers.
Fucking
Steve.
narcissists.
Okay, what would you name the 13th month?
See, I don't even know.
Febtober.
Because then people are like, so what's the
Smart.
13th month? I don't know.
Lousy smarch weather.
I'd name it FAFO because it'd be a month of partying. I'm just saying.
I would just give it like whatever month. It's fine.
All right,
some
I'm
of
going
them
to get
are
you guys
for-
with another Mandela effect here real quick.
Okay, do
Okay.
it.
Y'all ever hear of y'all ever hear of Black Tom Island?
No.
Black
No.
Tom Island.
Black Tom Island, and Vincent, you probably would be more familiar with it being on the East Coast. It's actually part of the Statue of Liberty State
Tomcat?
Park now. But
Okay.
back in 1916, there was a rail yard there, and there was also a huge munitions dump. And German saboteurs sneaked onto the island and blew it up, trying to halt or aiding the British in World War I. It was the largest non-nuclear explosion ever.
What?
It damaged
No,
the Statue of Liberty.
Halifax explosion.
No, it damaged the Statue of Liberty and shattered windows as far away as Philadelphia. On 9/11, all I ever heard about was how that was the most devastating attack on New York City ever. No mention of Black Tom, not since Black Tom Island, just no mention of it whatsoever. I know people who have been in the arm of the Statue of Liberty, but apparently you cannot go up the arm of the Statue of Liberty because it is still damaged from this explosion. Even after
Okay, that makes
the
sense.
Statue of
I'm-
Liberty.
I'm looking at the numbers now. 2 million pounds of small arms and artillery ammunition, including 100,000 pounds, or that's 45,000 kilos for you, Canadian Spider-Man, TNT.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's...
What about the Halifax explosion where an ammo supply ship blew up and devastated, flattened Halifax and 30 kilometers around? Bigger than that?
I don't know. I don't think you could fit 2 million pounds of small arms ammunition on a ship. Yeah, this sounds...
Bigger.
Okay, but the thing is,
sounds much bigger.
none of you have ever heard of it. The largest non-nuclear explosion in the history of mankind.
Never
damaging
happened.
the Statue of Liberty.
Never happened.
But the thing is, it is no longer an artifact. It has seeped itself into all historical reference of World War One. I'm an asshole war historian. I kind of pride myself on my war knowledge. Never heard of this before I started researching the Mandela effect.
I never heard of it.
But are there any photos or news stories? I mean, there'd have to be news stories everywhere.
Well, that's what I say. You'd think during 9/11 it would have been brought up. This is the most devastating, thing to happen in New York City since the Black Tom Island explosion.
Okay, so here's something else. I just looked this up. So here's two theories I have. All right, sorry for cutting off. I'm just fascinated about this. You all know about the World Fair, right? That was in 1893. All right, so here's the thing. I've actually looked into this more. It kind of goes along with what Vincent was saying about the 300 years. Was that Vincent?
No, that wasn't me.
That was the other half of the brain.
Oh, okay. And it kind of makes sense because I can actually explain the Chicago Great Fire. So the World Fair, which no one knows about these days anymore, where they would just build this massive world fair at a city, do something grandeur. The Great Chicago Fire. The Great Chicago Fire was them burning down the World Fair. So technically, the dates weren't right. That's my theory.
It wasn't Mrs. O'Leary's cow?
No. They were burning down the actual fair and made it to be this. I've heard that theory.
So they blamed a cow. Those fucking bastards.
Because they were hiding, because the World Fair had all these advanced technologies and everything, and it was like massive. Like just what they built in a matter of 6 months, we can't do anymore, I guess. And so they had to get rid of it, and the only way is to actually build on top of it, like in New York. If you go down in the subway, like down below, deep enough, you can see artifacts of other buildings, like old buildings.
Right.
They just built on top of.
Humans have always done that.
Yeah.
The
And
Egyptian
you go down
pyramids.
another layer, and that's where the chuds are.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, that just irritates me of all the knowledge that's been lost over the past thousands of years.
Right.
Imagine how advanced we would be if Alexandria hadn't burned down. Just think about it.
How much harder is it going to be to fool the general public now that we have cameras everywhere? But no one believes what they see anymore because of AI.
The problem with that is if you show footage, it is really easy to manipulate footage. Like I can get footage back in the day and I can actually do After Effects and then add things in and make it look like it was there. That's the problem with technology. Because here's the other thing. To that, there is a conspiracy that actually Hollywood was created as a propaganda machine. It makes sense because you had Thomas Edison, you had all of them, and I actually believe that Hollywood was built as a structure to manipulate people to not believe what is true. Because a lot of what the movies that you see now, like Terminator with the whole AI stuff, that's kind of happening now. Everything that we see, like the big political propaganda type movies, those I feel like tell a story, like give the answer, and we never really realized it until now. The other thing, here's my conspiracy. There's only been 2 nuclear bombs that have ever gone off. We don't own any nuclear weapons.
Wow.
What are the only 2 nuclear bombs that have ever gone off?
3 Mile Island is not one of them.
No,
that was just
nanobombs.
France.
Fat Man and Little Boy.
Fat Man and Little Boy.
It's Japan.
Hiroshima,
Yeah, I
Nagasaki.
thought that was too obvious. I don't want to sound like a dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's if you think about this, I saw it because I saw it on Joe Rogan, the conspiracy martial art nut job guy. And he mentioned that briefly, and I was like, I looked into it. After we set off those bombs in Japan, there's never been a singular nuclear bomb that has ever gone off after.
Yeah, because they saw what happened.
The ones in Vegas, though.
Like, look.
What?
Explain all the ones that they were testing in Vegas, though. Because you can see the mushroom clouds in pictures over the Tropicana Resort.
Yeah,
plus my theory's gone down.
Plus the Russians tested as well.
Yeah, North Korea.
Tsar Bomba they set off in the 50s. That is the largest nuclear explosion to date.
Well, maybe I'll
And
rephrase it then.
it affects
I'll
weather
rephr-
patterns.
I
I'll
can't believe
rephrase it
people
then.
wouldn't.
Nuclear bomb used during war.
Oh yeah, no, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Like testing, sure, but using it during war, I don't think.
I was gonna
we've
say I got a
ever-
whole folder of Demon Core memes that says there's at least one more out there.
Well, I mean, wait, you wait. Fuck Putin and Zelensky. It could be getting nuclear pretty quick over there.
Eh.
Shit.
If
Yeah,
Kamala
I
wins,
got-
if Kamala wins, and she puts all of her resources, all of your resources, into Ukraine, Putin might not have a choice. But
I
I'm just
no,
gonna,
I don't. I'm
I-
skeptical. I'm
The
skeptical
oligarchs
that
won't
he's
let
gonna
them.
win.
They don't want to change their lifestyle.
I don't know, man. I think Israel might get nuked too. Like the surrounding countries are just sick of their shit and just boom, glass crater.
No,
Yeah.
they have the nukes. The neighbors don't.
Yeah.
that's apparently. Yeah.
True. Forgot about that part.
Oh,
I think the only
Okay,
thing
one more
the
Mandela
only
effect.
thing their neighbors could do is maybe build a dirty bomb and put it in a suitcase. That's about
Don't
the
let your
They're just-
extent.
zipper go off.
They're just this side of throwing rocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
One more Mandela effect, and this is the one that actually completely freaked Rick out the first time I did the Mandela effect show. Especially Tyler and Steve. You're familiar with the Isaiah 11:6 and the lions will lay with the lambs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It's not in the Bible.
Wait, what?
It's not in the Bible. Wolves will lay with the lambs.
Hold up. I'm gonna look this up right now. Isaiah, what now?
11:6.
I think you
So
just,
what's it
I think you just rocked Steve's
supposedly
world.
what
No. Hold up.
Lions and lambs.
as opposed to
The wolf
wolf-
laying with the lamb.
what does it matter? Wolf, lion, they're still dead.
So what
No,
was
but
it?
the-
11:6.
Isaiah 11:6.
All right. The wolf will live with the lamb. The leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf and the lion and the yearling together, and the little child will lead them. Wait, so what did you say was the actual correct one?
Wolves will lay with the lamb, or wolves will dwell with the lamb,
No, it's
not lions.
yeah.
But everybody's familiar with lions and lambs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you get to say L and it's alliteration.
I never thought of that. I've always thought it was the lion and the lamb.
You know why? Because in Daniel and elsewhere in the Bible, they talk way more about lions than wolves. So I think people just made that logical leap. With
Oh.
verse.
Okay, so here's another crazy one that I looked into. So I saw a video of a guy who had a Bible, like a really old Bible, and it actually went into chronological order of years. Like you can go down historically, going all the way up to, and I think we are probably in 17 something, because it doesn't go past a certain year. Like I think it doesn't go past 17 something. I have seen the footage of that where the guy actually goes through, and it's like an old big book, and it's the Bible. And like in one section, it's like all the years. It's like dates and stuff, and it doesn't go. There's no recordings of 1990, nothing of that. And I'm like,
Well, no, you have to think other people use different calendars and measurements of time. I mean, in the Jewish calendar, I mean, it's like year 57 and something. I'm not sure of the exact one. And the Muslim calendar doesn't start until 600 AD, so they're still in the 1400s.
Huh.
And as I
know
what?
mentioned earlier, we're actually in 1787.
Yeah.
Once we make contact with the Vulcans, we're gonna switch to Vulcan time anyway. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
well, here's another.
If the Vulcans
conspiracy.
are smart, they'll drop nukes on every fucking major population center
So
just to
here's
fucking
another.
get rid of us.
They'll go ID4 on us.
No.
So
they
what
like
is
raw horsepower.
here's a question for you guys, and I'll start with mine. This one is crazy, and I know some people have mentioned it in aliens in the chat. Now I'm not so fully sold on aliens and whatnot.
Great
I
movie.
leave that up to whatever someone wants to believe in. But what is the craziest conspiracy theory that you've heard of? Mine is some of the book of the Bible isn't all there. Like some are actually
No, that's true.
like.
Well, that's true
What?
though.
Yeah,
That's
Mel
true.
Well,
Brooks
yes,
did
that
it.
is true. That part is true.
Mel
But
Brooks did
some
that
people,
part. 15.
So-
No, 10. 10 commandments.
but some people are saying, and don't take this, I don't believe this, but some people are saying that there's one book that is very heavily in Egyptian times, and they talk about aliens. Don't take my word for it. I think it's the
Ooh,
Was it
craziest one.
I mean,
Tobit
well,
or
to be
See,
fair,
here's-
there's
here's-
reference
Go ahead.
to something like that because
yeah, I've
But-
heard of that.
You have to remember one thing. Where our particular solar system is situated in the Milky Way galaxy, we are on a spiral arm out in the ass end of nowhere. If there are any alien civilizations, they're going to be towards the core. Now, the Milky Way galaxy itself is what, 150,000 light years across? Unless you figured out a way to not only go the speed of light, but much faster than the speed of light, you're not going to them. They're coming to you. And if they do come to you, it's going to take a really long fucking time to do it. Aliens may know about it. Yeah, aliens may know about us, and they may be studying us, but they're doing it the same way that we study them. We've got radio telescopes pointed out there, and we listen. Nobody's coming out here, except maybe.
I think it already happened, like in that cartoon Prometheus and Bob from Nickelodeon. You guys remember that?
That was fucking awesome.
Now so here's one that I think you guys can all agree is completely batshit crazy. Flat earthers.
No, but
We're
so
all
many,
around the globe.
so many of my friends believe that.
How insane is it? And watch, we're all wrong and the earth is actually flat.
No, it's not, Steve.
no,
I
I'm
know
not
it's not.
bragging. I've flown like around the planet a few times, and it's round. You can see the and I've been I knew you could.
That's
you're
what they
on a
want you
plane,
to think.
you know
can
how
tell.
you know how
can
I
tell
heard
when you change direction or up altitude. You just know I've physically flown around it. It's a globe. Plus, I've seen and you have too.
It's actually a pair.
Eclipses, solar eclipses on different continents at the same time, like at different years. They're all the shadow that the Earth casts is always perfectly round.
Canadian Spider needs
There's
a
only
whiteboard
one shape
so he can
like
start
that.
drawing.
Sphere.
He needs a whiteboard,
because
he needs
all
string,
the
he needs
eclipses-
newspaper clippings, and all that stuff.
All the eclipses are round.
He's
They're
like,
not
"Look at
ellipses.
this."
so Canadian
They're not
Spider-Man.
ellipses.
There's an even
Eclipses.
there's an even easier answer as to why the world is round, though, because God put in the Bible that He would put good women in all four corners of the world, and then He made the world round.
You see, that's the thing.
Good evidence.
That's
that,
Canadian Spider-Man in a nutshell. We're going to do that whole meme thing. We're going to put the whiteboards up. We're going to put strings, newspaper clippings, and he's going to go totally insane for 5 minutes. And then at the last second, he's going to go calm and he's going to say, "We're through the looking glass, people."
So I just been informed. I got my buddy Scott, who he's all into conspiracies. He knows a lot. Like he'll question you. Like he'll play his devil advocate and he'll question you on what you know. And it's really smart. I learned a lot from him. He just said the book of Thoth. Thoth.
Toth.
You know what that is?
Thoth. He
Yeah.
said he's like, I think it's that book. Again, he said, "Don't quote me,"
I
but
mean,
I think that's
It may be. That is an Egyptian
Isn't
word.
that a funerary rites book?
Thoth stands for that.
No, wait, that's Anubis.
No, that's thought. This is Toth.
See,
gonna look
I'm
it up.
Egyptian. I should know this.
Thoth is a god?
Here, I'll look
I
it
don't
up.
know if it's
But
a god. Hang on.
Are you a god? No.
Next time,
Hang
say
on.
you're a god.
Ray, someone asked you if you're a god.
The book. Hang on. The book of
Yes.
The book of Thoth is given to many ancient Egyptian texts, supposed to have been written by Thoth himself, the god of writing and knowledge. It also refers to a fictional book of the same title.
Yeah, there's a fictional book written by Aleister Crowley. Book of Thoth.
Yeah, there have been a couple books that have been discredited from the Bible?
Dude, there's been 14.
Yeah, quite just a couple.
Okay,
That's more
see,
than
One of the ones I keep
Steve's
talking
friend-
about, Rick, that I want to do on juxtaposition is the Book of Judas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
We may have to
read
save that
that
one
shit.
for like Halloween or something though, because
So
That's an
What do you mean that for
interesting
next
one.
year?
I'm afraid bad things might try to happen when we do that one.
have you guys heard of the Shroud of Turin?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
course.
I knew you had. Well, no, some people haven't. And you know the mystery behind that. So there's conspiracy theories about that as well. I personally think there was low-level radiation in the rock that he carved the cave in. There's radioactive naturally, and that is what made the image on the shroud, just from natural
possible.
radiation.
Yeah,
I mean,
interesting sidebar that I was thinking about that.
Explanation is usually the right one.
Yeah, Occam's razor. No, I was thinking about something similar today. I
Never
remember
mind.
reading a story. I remember reading a story not too long ago that a bunch of researchers from Colorado went to go to Chernobyl to just see the effects after 30 years.
Oh yeah.
And and living in Colorado on the granite is exposed to more radiation than they experience, and the flight over to Russia than the radiation they were exposed to in Chernobyl.
So there was never a nuclear explosion in Chernobyl?
No, there was, just that there's so much radiation just coming that we experience every day that they've already depleted the half-life of the dangerous rads over there.
Oh.
Huh.
And I remember because I was in Europe. I was in Germany, stationed in Germany when Chernobyl happened. And everyone was shitting peach pits. And I remember when I was being discharged, I was getting my medical. And they're like, you do realize you won't be able to donate blood. And I'm like, what? Like, well, you were within 500 miles of Chernobyl when it happened, so you can't donate blood. I'm like, really? And yeah, apparently that was a thing. And it's only like recently now I've been giving blood. It's like, but I was at Chernobyl. It's like, that's a bunch of bullshit.
You could have sold radioactive sperm.
Oh. Super babies. No, so Tyler.
That explains quite a bit why my...
So
Never mind. I won't
Looking
get into
at my
that.
children.
That's a story for another show.
Yeah. So one of my favorite conspiracies
story.
is, and Tyler will vouch for this, is when we go online and we read about people who think they know about Freemason. It is the funniest thing ever. It is. I get a kick out of it because then I'll just start agreeing with them.
Okay, see, Steve?
Every now and then they're right about something, and it's always just like not going to confirm or deny. There's so much misinformation out there. It's just like nobody knows what to believe anyway.
But the craziest.
All I know
ones-
is that according to Catholic doctrine, you two are heretics, and I should kill you on sight. But I can't do that because I love you both.
Old Testament.
There was one about how we kidnapped nuns. And I saw it on X. And I said, I told the guys, like, you are 100% right. He's like, see, I knew it. And I just put emojis of laughing.
Okay, see, here's the thing. I went to parochial school when I was a kid. I got my hands wrapped up on the knuckles with rulers by nuns for more times than I care
with
to
the
count.
metal edge.
So, yes, you can kidnap as many nuns as you like, and
But
I
I
will
just
not
think
say
it's
a
funny, like-
fucking thing.
Here's this is what I'll say. There are some conspiracies like the Bigfoot and all these things. And even when
That's
it
just
comes to like the Illuminati, Freemason, there's like what you read online, especially in like the like 4chan, whatever anonymous forums you're on, some of the stuff that you're reading is complete bullshit. And it's just what my dad's
90% of what you
uncles-
encounter online is bullshit.
Yeah, so I will say this, people. I would say, you know what? Embrace conspiracy theories because a lot of them tend to be right. But is that true, or did you read it?
Yes.
I got this at my local gun shop.
I love it.
I like it. is embrace conspiracy theories because it helps you actually do research. I think that's the benefit of the internet is you're doing research. You're doing things that journalists should be doing instead of making up fake articles to make someone look bad. That's stupid. And don't believe the guy who says my best friend's uncle's stepbrother,
Yes.
stepsister, all that stuff, because usually it's like telephone. You hear one conspiracy theory and you're like, oh yeah, I believe that, and then you tell someone else and it's kind of like
No, it's
a
like
little
you say,
loosened.
you talk to somebody
What?
about Steve. Steve went to the store today, and then 10 minutes later comes back to you. It's like Steve went to the store today. Purple Monkey dishwasher.
Yeah, that's what you get sometimes.
I think they help you with critical thinking because
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
able to think that shit might be really fucked up and there's some things that are just complete bonkers, it kind of helps you reel in reality a little bit to think, yeah, like weird, crazy shit has happened in this world. We don't really know what to believe. Probably best just to use critical thinking.
Yeah,
I
Too bad they
think,
don't
like
teach that.
don't believe.
yeah, I was about to say
Like-
they don't teach it anymore.
That's on purpose.
Like one of the conspiracies, we'll get to tip of the hat, but one of the conspiracies that I actually do believe, and it's actually been proven, and they just proved it with the last hurricane, is weather changing, weather machines, weather weapons, whatever you want to call it, DARPA, HARP, whatever. I've actually seen HARP actually happen in real life, real time. There was a fire that happened right before COVID, and it is a huge. There was 2 actual wildfires that happened, and because I think you were still around, Tyler, in the Monterey area.
Yeah.
The big wild, like everything was like smoke. Well, Gary and I, we were filming. No, this happened during COVID. Yeah, we were filming for Doomcock. If anyone who knows in the chat knows who he is, he does a show called Pop Culture Breakdown. So we were filming during COVID. That guy. We were filming, and till like 3 a.m. one night, and we just got done filming miniature effects. And we go outside. There's no wind. It's cold. It's a little weird. And all of a sudden, the wind just picks up to 80 miles an hour. Signs are blowing. I was like, dude, this is weird. This has never happened. And he goes and drops me off at home. And then I see off in the distance, in like California, you don't really see lightning, like a wall of lightning hit the ocean.
No, you don't.
You don't. And I was like, that's fucking weird. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, what you're seeing right there. And it was a constant. I think for like 3 hours it was going. And it was just flashing. It looked like just bombs being dropped and just like flash of lights. And I was like, you only see that in the Midwest, Africa, where the climate is more warmer. It's something to do with the climate and everything of like where you're at. And sometimes in Florida, tropical areas. You'll see it in
Climate
Florida.
change, Steve.
No, here's
Climate
where it
change.
gets crazy. This is where it gets even crazier because there's actual footages of this that they've recorded of elsewhere. This is how they start wildfires in California, by the way. Yeah. I saw the wall and I was like, you never see that in California? I was like, have you ever seen that before? He's like, no.
You're
like, isn't that weird?
35 years old. What history do you know?
No, but the Pacific is too cold for that kind of effect.
Exactly.
No,
So-
I remember
Was.
that shit too. That was fucking
Yeah.
weird. I remember it.
So here's where it gets even weirder. There's one big flash of lightning and a red beam that hits up
What?
in Big Sur area.
What?
I was like, what the fuck was that? And then Gary's like, aliens. And I was like, no. And then the next day, a fire. And it was weird. This is actually how they start wildfires.
Were you the only
Yes.
one that saw the red beam? Or did Gary see it too?
He saw too.
What?
Yeah. Then I've seen actual footages of a laser beam that goes and hits the ground. This is like a different location, but a laser beam that hits something like dry. The only time you can actually do a wildfire on this is you have to have really dead, dry woods. to do this because they'll catch on fire faster.
British
And I
Columbia.
saw it and I showed my wife this. I was like, bingo, there it is. And then I showed her when Alex Jones was talking about the weather weapons of how they don't create storms, but they can kind of control hurricanes. Because I lived in Florida for 16 years growing up. Hurricanes don't do this. The last hurricane, that most recent hurricane that was near Florida and all that area, it was moving like this. And I was like, that's not normal. It curves. Sometimes it'll move a little bit, but it doesn't bob and weave. It just curves a little bit sometimes. And they just even announced that they use planes with propellers to move it. They'll go around the hurricane to project where it's going to go and their target. They do that.
The little propeller.
No, they use a bigger propeller.
I do think it's possible to manipulate a hurricane. I don't think it's propellers.
Like Superman?
No, when they go around it.
The Earth.
But here's the other thing, chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, back in the 60s.
Where are the photos?
Back in
Where
the
are the
60s,
photos?
the U.S. admitted to using weather modification to flood
That's
out
what
the
it is.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it was in newspapers and shit back in the 60s.
You know, back in the 80s, it wasn't that big of a deal. They used to seed the clouds. I mean, I grew up in a ski area. They used to seed the clouds over us all the time during droughts. You know, Canadian Spider-Man, you're up in Whistler. They've done that to you, too. They'll use ammonium sulfate to seed the clouds.
I lived there for 20 years. Yeah. No.
And what happens is
That's
drops down
one thing,
onto us.
but that's
and
apart
affects
from
us.
what we're talking about.
Right.
But
yeah.
no, it's all in the same area. Chemtrails is a way to, from what I've looked into, it is supposed to help the clouds or whatever, but the chemicals drop down onto us and we get sick from it.
So why are there not videos and pictures online? Because everyone has a video camera on them of these chemicals being loaded into planes.
There is.
Haven't
I'll look for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you would have thought some like Fox News or something would have put that up there.
No, it does. They do.
Yeah.
There's footages of it. Some of the chemtrails, the planes look like private jets. And then some are Boeing. Like I've seen footages of inside the plane where it's just big tanks of all the chemicals, and it injects. It's all the injections on the wings.
And what's the motive? Is it to affect the weather or affect people's health?
Both. And this
Now,
has been going on since like the 60s.
The elections, our next episode, is that right, Steve?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. We're going to get
election conspiracy theories.
Oh, we can do
voting rigging, election rigging. We just had a British Columbia. British Columbia just had an election, right? Last week. And it took them a week to count the votes. And now every conspiracy theorist out there is saying the vote's rigged, the vote's rigged, the vote's rigged. They used electronic machines. There was actually phone-in voting allowed. Because we had, and some polling stations were closed due to heavy rain because we had climate change induced heavy rain, for fuck's sake. So like conspiracy theory in British Columbia right now where I live is insane this week because of what election conspiracy
well, we'll get into that probably next week because that's a whole episode, I feel like. But we're going to get into this.
Oops. Shit.
We are. So this is the part where we actually go around the table and we give a tip of the hat to anyone who has inspired us, played an important role in our lives. It could be your mom. Moms are very important to us. Rick, is there a tip of the hat?
Actually, yes. My well, there's no nice way to say this. My mom's been married like 5 times, but my 4th stepdad was absolutely amazing. So unfortunately, it didn't last very long, but we still keep in touch. And he is just an amazing human being who's always there for anybody anytime they ask him to be. I've actually watched him give the eulogy to 3 of my family members because my family didn't think I was going to be able to do it, even though I'm trained to do it. And yeah, he's the one that I thought of when I realized we were going to be doing this today. His name's Bruce, and
Cool.
and the funny thing is, I don't even, unfortunately, because my mom's kind of gone off the deep end. I don't really talk to her anymore, but I still talk to him.
That's
It's kind of weird.
Vincent.
Can't really think of anybody.
You abstained last week. You can't do it again.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see who off the top of my head. Blah, 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 blah. Victor Hugo, French writer, wrote Les Miserables, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
Ruy Blas, a couple other books as well. And I'm trying to remember a quote of his that affected me a lot. What was it? Think about the human soul has still greater need of the ideal than of the real. Yes, it is by the real that we exist. It is by the ideal that we live.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I like when you read. You should read a book, do an audio book. I could read that all. I could listen to that all day.
I agree.
People keep telling me this, and I keep telling them they're full of shit. And
well, you know what? I say you're full of shit.
If you guys are telling me to do this, then I think I should possibly look into it then. Okay, you've convinced me. All right.
There you go. See,
well done. But if I make any money, I'll buy you guys beers, but you're not getting a percentage.
Hey, you know what? I'll take a bottle of bourbon.
A bottle of the best moderately priced bourbon I can find, my friend.
Woodford Reserve. That's all. Right there.
Good choice.
Yeah, see? I know my stuff. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah. You know, I've been meaning to do this gentleman for a little while. And I think even Americans probably have heard of him. I'd like to tip my hat to Jordan Peterson.
Yes,
Jordan
we have
Peterson. I've been watching a lot of his podcasts lately. Been listening to him quite a bit. I know I believe he appeared at a public appearance with some notable Republicans, American Republicans. And he's a very conservative gentleman. He's not only intelligent, because it's one thing to be smart. I know lots of people that are smart, but they can't convey that through words.
They're not eloquent.
Yeah. Do not get into a debate with Jordan Peterson. That's a bad idea. This man can clarify his point in very succinct, very precise wording, and he's just full of class. Every time you see him, he was in a leather-bound chair with a fireplace behind him, with like a full double-blazed suit, double-breasted suit,
and he smelled of rich mahogany and leather.
Right, but he is not pretentious. He's the furthest thing from pretentious. He's very aware of his own failings, and he is leading a war against the woke. He's fighting a war against people that are trying to prevent free speech. He's literally sacrificing his personal fortunes and career when he didn't have to defend our rights for free speech. You know, people are trying to censor him, and the university. He's a professor. He was a professor in psychology because he's a trained psychologist. and he lost his job, lost everything because he refused to buy into the pronoun, the he, them, she, their, zer, whatever. He refused to do that as a college professor, and so essentially they persecuted him unbelievably. And he's just a champion for free speech, and him and his whole family. He's got a huge support group behind him, and I just admire the man.
Yeah,
Jordan Peterson.
Good answer, dude.
Yeah, Ordy.
You know, in keeping with the theme, as I often do, I'm going to give my tip of the hat this week to Bob Lazar. If you're not familiar with that name, he is the one who actually brought Area 51 to the forefront. He showed up at an investigative reporter, George Knapp's office one day and said, "Hi, my name's Bob Lazar. I've been working out at Nellis Air Force Base, and I want to tell you about the UFOs." And he was thoroughly investigated by George Knapp before bringing him forward. A lot of people say, well, you know, he was total man of mystery too. It's like he worked at Los Alamos and there's a photo of him there, but there's no W-2s for him, or there's no record of him working there. But he was in like some of the, you know, class photos there. When he was questioned by people who worked out at Area 51, you know, he got the easy stuff wrong, but the hard stuff right. Not like, you know, where are the aliens at, but how do you pay for your lunch? That kind of thing, you know, and he got a lot of that right. A lot of the stuff that he claimed that everybody just thought was absolutely insane, like element 115. There at the time, there is no element 115. Now there is. It's called Mosconium. The UFOs he described were against popular culture at the time of the saucer shape. He described what is now known as the Tic Tac. That is in the U.S. Navy footage that they released back in 2019. So, and then he went through massive discreditation. They caught him with hookers and all these other, gave him all these other legal troubles. I think America owes Bob Lazar an apology. That we should have, though, you know, he was just listened to by the kooks at the time, but a lot of what he has said has been right so far. And that's just what we know so far. So, tip of the hat to Bob Lazar.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Alex Jones of
Tyler.
the past.
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
I'm gonna say my tip of the hat is to Canadian Spider-Man. Dude, looks like a pumpkin right now. You know, getting ready for Halloween. I appreciate that. But every time I tune into your channel, like, you're always doing fucking cool shit that I'm really jealous of. Like, hey, I'm in this awesome area camping and doing this cool stuff. But every time you come on, you're just full of good vibes and you have really good insight. And I got a lot of respect for you, man. So my tip of the hat goes to you, Canadian Spider-Man.
Man,
Rightfully
holy
so,
shit.
man.
Thank you, man. Right back at you, brother.
Hey, thank you.
Wow.
And then he's dating a
And
trans.
then they all fucked.
So my tip of the hat is Joe Rogan. The kind of the crap that he's getting right now for not having Kamala Harris on and stuff. How he approached all that and just spilled the beans of like, this is what's really going on. They want me to travel and do 1 hour. I'm not going to do that. It kind of gives hope that, you know what, as podcasters, it's our show. We shouldn't allow someone to tell us, dictate us how we should do our show.
The whole driving theme of that is she needs him a lot more than he needs her.
Yes.
I said
So-
that
Yes.
today.
Yeah. So he's a guy who is
She's going to be irrelevant.
fascinating, where he likes to go hunting. He likes to watch UFC. He likes to interview and have conversations with people and wants to learn. I think as men, that's what we should do. If we don't know something, it is okay that we don't. That's why we get to learn.
We usually do, though.
Yeah, if I want to actually have a conversation or if I read an article, I was like, you know what, I would like to learn more about psychology. I go talk to a psychologist and then pick his brain or her brain or whoever is a psychologist because I want to get to know that side of things. Yeah, and you grow your knowledge of things, and then
get him on
you
this
become. But no, good luck. If you do, I'll buy you a bottle of bourbon. But I think what he does is it gives hope for guys of like, you know what, just learn things that you don't know. He always says, I'm dumb, but I just like to hear what other people's knowledges are.
He's not dumb.
And I know that, but that's what he says. It's just
he does. Yeah.
So that is the show. Next week is going to be a big one. It is election night, and it's also the 2-year anniversary for this show, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. So we're going to start earlier. We're going to start at 6 p.m. Pacific time just because it's election, and I will do a little election updates, and we're going to have some people who've been on in the past episodes from the beginning. Even
nice,
a wide variety. It's
which part excites you more, Steve? The 2-year anniversary or the election?
You're gonna have to wait and find out. I might, depending on how the election goes, I might.
He's got an election erection.
I know.
It's funny you say that because I watched originally in 2004. You guys had an election, and I watched it in Japan, and when you talk with elections with Japanese people, it's always erection. It's funny.
Yeah, but depending on how the election goes,
was that Obama?
I might have someone very special, someone big, a big guest on a phone call. So stay tuned. Depending on how it goes, you never know. He is a very big.
Is it Donald Trump?
It is Donald Trump.
Oh,
we'll
shit.
Find out. So depends on how it goes. I'm not going to say who, but yeah. So we'll be starting around 6 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be the longest show that we do, just because we'll cover the election, have fun. Might be a little drinking game. I don't know. But we'll all have to wait and find out.
I was gonna say,
I'm very excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'll be there
because I'm going to buy several bottles of my favorite moderately priced wine to enjoy.
I was gonna say,
the Royale Red. It's gonna be.
I'll be working the election.
Yeah, so we might.
The erection.
We'll have games. We'll do fun segments. Talk about our favorite episodes, all that good stuff. Celebrate Man-O-Rama, and give some announcements of new updates of the show going into season 3. After that,
season 3.
I know we will be doing. The next topic after next week will be: is it masculine to do household chores? That'll be in 2 weeks. See? Is it masculine? So think about that, guys. But on that note, I would like to give it.
I don't need to think about it because after we get clear here, I got to go downstairs and get my laundry out of the dryer.
But on that note, I always like to give President Trump the send-off to this show. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week. It'll be a lot of fun.
And we say bye-bye.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.